Hello everybody, this is Stephen, also known as Stipino on the forums. Anyway, shut up for a second, I have another thing important to tell you. In my predatory tactics video, I touched on the subject of boosts actually being an arms race, with Ludia being the sole supplier and beneficiary of the revenue. Much like how central banks get rich by offering loans at a price to both sides in a war. Well, with this new boosts arm race, they need to make sure to supply both sides with weapons. This is where Rat and Thor come into it. The Rat allows addicts to get that quick fix by stealing a win, and, as mentioned before, is so simple that all they need to do is swap it in. This allows for a broader audience, as the more simple and effective something is, such as ratting, the more likely someone is to use it, and thus invest boosts in. And that's exactly what's happened in the arena. The vast majority of players have actually placed Rat on their team, with a few exceptions of course. Okay. So now we've successfully armed one side in the arms race, we need to make sure that we can supply the other side. That way we can double our profits by selling to both sides. Here is where Thor comes into it. Thor is one of the few dinosaurs in the game that can actually take the Rat out in one hit due to its massive damage and crit chance. Unfortunately, Cyno is very difficult to find in the wild. Eureka, I've got it. We can actually use the Alliance reward system to supply both sides in the arms race. We can give half of the components to make Rat and Thor. In the case of the Thor side, we can give out Epic Cyno. In the case of the Rat side, we can give out Triceratops Gen 2. But we have a problem. We program the Alliance rewards to shuffle dinosaurs every single week, so that they're always changing. I've got it. We can disable the rotating rewards so that they only give the arms race components for 8 months straight. This will guarantee that both sides in the arms race will have plenty of the DNA required to make and use their new weapons, assuring massive uptake in the meta. But we have another problem. Magna is actually a massive threat to Thor with speed and distractions. Can't have that. So what we'll do is we'll start by lowering its health by 400. That way, it puts it in easy one-shotting range of the Rat. This in turn will make Rat appear even more effective, as if it can kill something so powerful and great like Magna, even more players will start using it. But now we have to silence some of the complaints about the Rat, so that the community doesn't figure out what we're up to. I've got it. Let's change its swap-in attack so that it no longer breaks shields or goes through armor. This, on the surface, will appear like a nerf, but since only 2 dinosaurs in the meta even have armor, it won't actually make a difference. And as for shields, they're not really a problem, because you would need to sort of know that the Rat's coming beforehand so you can actually put that shield up, and since you won't know the Rat's coming anyway, you won't have that shield up, so they're not a problem. But uh-oh, we have a big problem. Our new fake nerf of the Rat actually is a buff to existing Dios and Tricos due to their armor. We need to get rid of them fast. I've got it. Let's take their main component, Epic Anking, and make it much more harder to get by only making it dartable 1 day a week, on Sundays. That way, we can ensure that Dios and Tricos are so hard to level that they'll start falling behind the rest of the team average and thus be holding them back. This change is actually twofold, because newer players will find it very difficult to unlock due to the lack of anking, whereas existing Dio and Trico users will find it increasingly difficult to level them, and therefore will need to invest in boosts. Okay, so we've also invented something called crit and armor boosts, which we've not yet implemented into the game. Well, now that our boost arm race is now in full effect, we need a way to start selling more boosts, because now that a lot of players are getting to tier 7 and higher, they're finding it very difficult and expensive to go any further, and therefore not spending. I know, let's start by nerfing crit of all dinosaurs. That way, when we add our crit boosts to the game, players will feel the need to invest in them to make up for their recent crit nerfs. And since we recently made armor and tanks in general much more valuable due to our fake Rat nerf, many players will actually feel the need to invest in our armor boosts. Cha-ching!